Morning, afternoon, evening, everybody. It's your boy Sleepy Boy here. What up, Sleepy fam? And hopefully subscribe, like, comment, share to friends and loved ones to support this channel. Welcome to Queen Beast. If you read the title, you've seen the thumbnail, and we are now here. I'm introducing it. Yeah, let's begin. Whoa! All right, I did the effort for the intro. Here we go. Stretching down from the northwest like a stricken tiger, with its jaws wide open to the east, lies the valley. The valley is as old as the world itself, and on its ancient crooked back it bears a bracing wind. The valley was, for 100,000 years, peopled only by beasts, birds, and flowers. And it was for their sake alone that the wind would blow. Oh, look at that. Look at the cute mouse pointer. Cursor. Sorry, I burped. Even the distant era when men settled here and built a village was, in the long, long memory of the land, only a recent occurrence. The settlers, enterprising sorts, built a fine mill to harness the power of the wind, to have it turn the stone that grinds the grain. But though the same wind that blew then blows the same to this very day, the wheel no longer turns. So some time has passed. It broke down sometime, somewhere on the inside, and there was nobody left who could say why. The knowledge was forgotten. I've spent every day of my 18 years in this valley, and in all that time I've never seen it turn. That spectacle is another memory only the land possesses. Though not exactly an enterprising sort myself, if I have more than once become so consumed by pique that I've climbed up inside the, you piqued an interest, machinery, to take a look at it myself, to try to understand what went wrong. Needless to say, I couldn't figure it out either. Thus it is that, at present, millers like myself turn the great stone with our own bodies. Get an ass to do it, you say? An ass? There's nothing like that here. We've got goats and other small ruminants and various fowl, but I've never seen a goat that could turn our millstone, let alone a chook. So with that being the case, every day I get up and grind away. Grinding, the basis of my existence. Grinding, a sound more regular than my heartbeat. I've no cause to complain. It's honest work and somebody has to do it. Only, every morning, I look at the spokes of that impotent, languid wheel, black against the dawn sky, and I feel something like irritation. I get to work, I shed my day's sweat, but that faint feeling of irritation never quite goes away. Chapter 1: The Broken Wheel and the Lot of Exiles. Cool art. I'm dreaming. In my dream I see, framed in the doorway, the back of a young man, clad in a blue livery, with a sword hanging at his waist. It's my brother's back on the night he left 10 years ago. Ah, you're awake. What a strange thing to say in a dream, eh? But no matter what, he always says the same thing. Brother, where are you going? I'm going back to the capital. You're going back? You've only just come home. Why do you have to leave again? I have a lot. Sorry, my voice cracked. I'm sorry, everybody. I have a lot I want to ask him. Sensible questions. But just, I'm laughing at my own cracking voice. But just like he, the only words that come are those of my 8-year-old self. I'm sorry, Otto, but Here, no crying now. You have to be brave. For her sake, too. But I'm not crying. There's another child who is crying somewhere out there without anyone to wipe away her tears. Who's the child? It's been 10 years. I'm older than you now. For her sake, I have to. I have to believe she's still alive. And so, my work is not yet done. Brother! You don't have to answer my questions. Just what? Come back? Take me with you? Damn. Whoa, who is this? Yo, time to whiz her up, you know? Good evening, Otto. Brownwind. I open my eyes and see a fair angel looking down at me. I hear her gentle voice. Brownwind. My sister, who appeared the same night my brother disappeared. Even after all these years, I can't quite believe she's real. Winnie. I must have fallen asleep at my desk again, huh? Well, I found you drooling into your journal with ink all over your face. Oh, it's still there? I cleaned it off. Hey, you didn't need to do that. You could have just woken me up. Well, you just look so cute I couldn't resist. For goodness sake, I'm not a child. Well, that's what I get for falling asleep, I suppose. I must have ruined everything I'd written. I'm afraid it's quite illegible, but in its own way, it's a testament to how hard you worked today. The whole point of keeping this journal is to improve my penmanship and become more adept at articulating my thoughts. Not to make an impression. She's always like this, finding strange ways to turn a negative into a positive. It would be condescending coming from anyone else, but I can only offer such words a token resistance when they come from her. Especially when I have my head on her lap. I've been saying this for a while, but I don't think you need to worry about improving anymore. The way you are now, you could easily do the work of a clerk or a scribe. I'm a miller, though, if circumstances permitted. She frowns at my interjection, then laughs softly. That's your opinion as my teacher? You really are a man of the millstone, aren't you? Is that wrong? No, it's not wrong. It might be for the best that you always remain the way you are, Otto. I certainly can't spend all night with my head on your lap, though. Oh? You find it objectionable? Huh. Sorry. Of course not. This is the most comfortable place in the world. But, well, you won't be able to get any sleep. In that queer hour before the break of dawn, I find myself standing outside my house, in the midst of a still slumbering village. On the far side of the lake, the broken windmill is turning smoothly. The fact that I'm seeing this impossible sight means I must be dreaming again. I'm so transfixed by the phenomenon that at first I fail to notice the shapes at the foot of the mill. There's a man lying on his back. Standing over him is a second figure, dark and indistinct. It's as though the man and his shadow have swapped places. Strange things like that aren't strange at all in a dream. However, so I don't dwell on them too much. Instead, I feel compelled to take a closer look at the windmill. It might provide a clue to fixing its counterpart in the waking world. Perhaps I should be ashamed of myself for entertaining such a boorishly practical notion during a dream. As if in response to my self-censure, a tall shadow, a shape of midnight darkness in this hazy blue-gray tableau, now appears before me. I hesitate to use a definite article, as I can't tell if it's the same shadow as the one by the mill or a different one. In that fantastical way, time and space become indistinct in a dream. They feel as though they are one and the same. If I were pressed to explain, I would say the reflection the thing has cast on the lake has emerged from the water to seek out a host of its own. Whatever it is, it's an uncanny apparition. It doesn't feel like a part of my dream at all. It's a foreign element, an intruder. I don't care to find out what his fandom is after. I'm simply not going to play along. I turn my heel, and no sooner have I done so than I'm standing high above the thin morning mist, at the summit of the hills that rise up steeply behind my cottage. I look back down at the shadow. To my surprise, it seems to have taken no notice of my egress. It instead appears to be shuffling around the houses as if it were seeking something else entirely. It looks almost imbecilic down there, like a blind old dog sniffling for truffles. Where is your master, hound? To whom go to the spoils of her search? I soon lose interest in watching the apparition. Putting it out of my mind, I direct my gaze into the fathomless depths of the blue sky. The heavens are vast. In comparison, the mountains that choke the valley look small enough to step over. The morning sun is on the other side of those peaks. Rather than simply wait for it, Cool sound. A terrible cry echoes through the sky. It's similar to the cry of a hawk, but much more. Much more. That's it. It must be how the cry of a hawk sounds to a rabbit. It's a fearful sound, another foreign element, but the feeling it stirs inside me isn't fear, but rather a cue. There comes now a distant muffled voice. A notion I was on the verge of grasping slips through my fingers. Wake up. The voice is coming from back inside the house. Someone is obviously trying to wake me up. I can only curse my misfortune as my mind is flooded with wordy thoughts that drag me down like so many leaden chains. Or leaden chains. I think leaden chains. My bad. Wake up, Otto! Winnie? When did your face get so hairy? Ow! I'm not your sister, you blockhead! The hirsute face of the village chief gradually comes into focus, a most inauspicious thing to see immediately upon waking. I sit up in bed, nursing the sight where it struck me. Chief! What are you doing here? Did I oversleep? Am I late for work? No, for goodness sake, rouse yourself, lad. She's gone. Brownwin is gone. Winnie is... I look over the alcove where Brownwin sleeps. The dividing curtain is pulled to one side and the bed is empty. I get out of bed and walk over there. The chief is right. She's not here. But what's so alarming about that? She's always out and about by now. I turn back to him. I must be giving him a funny look because he's scowling harder than usual. He grabs me by the arm and drags me outside. Ah, my eyes, a flashbang. Sorry, everybody. I wince as the sunlight cuts into my eyes like a razor, but the chief wastes no time in holding forth with whatever it is he wants to bother me about at this dreadful hour. She was drawing water from the lake when this great bloody dragon dropped out of the sky and landed right there in the middle of the village. A dragon? Chief? The rider was a knight in frightful black armor. No, the truly frightful thing was a naked black blade at his hip. I couldn't move. I'm not making excuses for my cowardice, Otto, but I truly couldn't move for fear of that sword. I just stood there and watched as he cast some spell on her and she went out like a snuff candle. Then he slung her over the saddle and flew away. What is this? Another dream? Am I still asleep? I look around me. It's the same old village under the same old sky. The windmill isn't turning. This old fart is telling me a knight astride a dragon, a figure from the world of fiction, descended upon this village and kidnapped Brownwin. Huh. Ridiculous. The chief might look rough and vigorous, but he's getting on in years. He must be losing his mind. Well, if he had bashed her on the head with a hammer and tossed the body in the lake, he would have come up with a better story. I can rule that out at least. So really, where is she? I walk back inside the house and back over to her bed. Still not here. I get the notion to look underneath and then check myself upon reflection, realizing how stupid it is. Is it really stupid? It's no more stupid than some tall tale about knights and dragons. I'm already down on all fours when I notice two small figures at the entrance. It's the children from next door, little Remen and her older brother, whose name I can't recall. Tongo, Tybor, they're both Brownwind students. They must have realized something is wrong. Hey, what am I saying? Nothing is wrong. Okay. Did something happen to Miss Brownwind? Nothing to worry about, she's just hiding somewhere. But what? My voice comes out strangely agitated and the children both flinch. Why did I... Oh, it was like... But what? Why did they snap like that? They look like they're about to cry. The looming shape of the chief appears behind him and guides them gently away. I stare at the open, empty doorway. It might be a magic door that people may leave through, but never return. Sometimes they're carried out, wrapped in sackcloth shrouds. Sometimes they walk out, wearing blue silk. And sometimes they're whisked away on a dragon by a mysterious knight in black. Where did you all go? My question sinks into the dusty air of the small room without even an echo in response. I continue to stare at the one-way door for what feels like a long time. There is a pain in my chest, like huge, heavy, wooden gears trying and failing to turn in concert. After a while, with no apparent impetus, perhaps simply because my knees are beginning to hurt, I get back to my feet. It seems the body is a machine that can operate independently of a turmoil in the machinery of the heart. I wash my face and get dressed. Without really understanding why, I begin filling a pack with everything I need for an outing. I finish my Sleepy, calm down. I finish my preparations for I don't know what and step outside. The chief is sitting on his favorite flat rock with the two children looking lost in his own village. A number of other sleepy, confused-looking villagers have emerged from their homes to see what's going on. I feel as self-conscious as close to embarrassment, and when I address the chief, my manners are pleasantly hearty and cheerful. So, which way did it go? Which way did what go? The dragon, of course! He looks me up and down as though I just said something absurd. You can't be thinking of following it, can you? On foot! Would you care to suggest an alternative, That's not what I mean. What about the mill? What about the mill? He really is losing it. Anybody can turn a bloody millstone. I need to find Winnie. Calm down, Otto. This isn't the time for rash behavior. You must surely be appalled, but the truth is that this world is a cruel place. Cruel and bizarre. Dramatic changes can come about quite easily. It's not as if somebody died, Chief. We can do something this time. It would only become a dramatic change if we allow it to. That thread of hope is an illusion, a trap! A trap? Set by whom, The chief pauses on my question. He scrunches his eyes shut and grasps up to the air with his hands while he searches for the answer. Fate! You know what I mean, Otto. You're putting your life on the line when you leave this valley. Losing Brownwind is bad enough, but losing both of you would be totally unacceptable. I have to try. No, you don't. I won't permit it. Brownwind isn't even your real sister. What's that supposed to mean? The chief seems to realize he said something stupid because his next words are quiet, almost at the level of an ordinary person's. She came here under strange circumstances. It's not so strange that she should leave by them too. That's a load of shit, Chief. Whoever she was before, Winnie's been my sister for the past 10 years. I look around at the others, anticipating some show of support. However, my words elicit no change in their docile, non-committally sympathetic expressions. The other young men seem to be making an effort to avoid my gaze entirely. She teaches the children how to read and write, and they all love her. Doesn't it bother any of you that she's just gone? Am I supposed to act as she was never here in the first place? There's nothing that can be done, lad. Not by simple folk such as ourselves. We just have to accept it. That's our lot in life. The children who look like they cried once already begin to cry again. I'm getting nowhere. What exactly am I trying to convince these people of anyway? It's clear to me this isn't their problem, it's mine. I can't accept it. Not this situation, nor those cowardly and fatalistic words of yours. I can't say nothing can be done until I've tried everything. Now, which way did the dragon go? The chief buries his face in his giant hand. It runs in the family. Oh wait. It runs in the family. I was hoping you might have been different from Oswald, but it turns out you're both lunatics. He goes silent for a while, then slowly drags his palm down his face and looks up at me. It went east, towards the capital. There's nothing to suggest that's where it's going. There are a lot of things in the east, after all. Well, it's a start. I'm feeling more clear-headed after speaking to the chief. I notice the children have stopped crying and are staring at me again. I'm gonna go find Miss Brownman now. Wherever she's hiding, I'll find her. They don't seem very reassured, honestly. What uncute kids. Let's leave it to Otto, eh? Here, you'll be wanting this as well. The chief hands me a satisfyingly weighty drawstring bag made of a fine material foreign to the valley. I unfasten it and take a look inside. It's crammed full of coins minted from some tacky-looking yellow metal. It must be that. This is gold. I've never seen the real thing before. It's gold, alright. That knight left it here. I was going to give it to you when you calm down, but I can see that isn't going to happen. I close the bag and give it a heft in my palm. This bag. Something strange about it? It's the exact weight of Winnie's boobs! You'll pay for this insult, Black Knight? Brownwyn is a kind and intelligent woman. She isn't just a pair of breasts. Chief? You bastard! How do you know something like that? From when we bathed together, obviously? Otto! Why are you suddenly so mad? I knew you were a lucky dog, but I had no idea you were living in paradise. It's no wonder you always have that stupid look on your face. I've changed my mind. I'm exiling you from this village until you bring Brownwyn back. Go and get her, you mongrel! I never knew this game would have comedy, man. With the chief's proverbial boot still stinging my backside, I take my leave of the village. I set off along the dusty track, winding its way through the sloping fields of barley that sate the mill's hunger. Small figures flit through the long stalks on either side of me. All the children will have heard what's happened by now. Though I can't see them, I can feel the sharp pressure of their pure eyes appraising my worth, measuring me against my quests. It's really making me itch. Just trust me, you damn brats! I'll surely bring back Brownwyn. The barley eventually gives way to a succession of craggy green hills, and I spent a fine summer morning trekking over them, leaving the path here and there to walk as a crow flies. It's kind of amazing and wild to imagine that everybody, either you had money to buy a horse, or you had to walk to the places you want to go. Going to country to country, city to city. Kilometers apart, it will take you days to reach your destination. And compared to now, where you have a bike, you have a motorcycle, you have motor vehicles to be exact. It's wild to me. It's imagining to be in that time and in their shoes. Going back to the game, in spite of my weighty task, I catch myself enjoying the feeling of the warm sun on my head and shoulders. All around me are nothing but familiar sights. This entire valley is practically my backyard, but it's not the same as usual. It's the first leg of what may well prove to be a long journey, and part of me is perhaps afraid I may never walk these lands again. By mid-afternoon, in many paces southeast, the hills have taken on a rocky, precarious aspect and a distinctly downward incline. I've been as far as this before, but it's a territory of excursion and whimsical wandering. Beyond here are the foothills where the whimsy stops. Indeed, this is the terminus of the beaten path of where it used to continue on. There remains no trace. For the people of the valley, there's no longer anywhere to go, and exiles are left to their own resources. I descend, and my trepidation ascends in proportion. It's not long before I'm jumping at every sound and eyeing every shadow with abject suspicion. In fact, I'm so preoccupied with potential hidden threats that I fail to notice the one in plain sight until we're looking one another in the eye. Roshi. Or Roche. Oh! It's young Otto, isn't it? So, inquires the man sitting cross-legged on a rocky precipice, looking back at me over his shoulder. He's lost a lot of weight and a lot of hair, but what reminds me of those lank red locks unmistakably belonged to my old friend Roche. Until recently, he was our village's foremost troublemaker, but he eventually took his mischief too far and was sent walking by the chief. Howdy, Roche. Hasn't it been a while? Quite. Haven't seen you since I got the old boot. That must have been over 4 months ago now. I'll have to take your word for it. I've lost all track of time out here. Actually, I just got excited as well, sort of. Really? You too, huh? Rush springs to his feet, turns to face me. Where are you going with that big pack? Winnie got kidnapped. I'm gonna go rescue her. Kidnap? That's terrible, really, just awful. I wish I could help in some way, but things are pretty rough for me as well right now. I've just had a great idea. Why don't you give me your bag? There's food in there, right? Stuff like that will only weigh you down. What's going on here, Roche? You're a bandit now. You got a problem with that? Well, there can't be many people to rob out here. We're a little bit isolated. So you understand why I have to go after small fry like you. To be totally frank, I'm starving, man. Lose the bag. I can't really spare any of this food. You want some gold? Damn, what am I gonna do with gold? It's worthless up here. There's no economy. Ah, that's true. Maybe you should head to the capital as well. You could become a back alley hoodlum or something. No way, man. The forest is too scary. For that matter, how are you going to get through the forest? You don't want to end up like Eomer. Roche asked a very good question that I've been trying to avoid thinking about. Well, I'll just have to wing it, I suppose. It's not like we know for sure that Eomer bit it in there. Sorry. You're throwing your life away, you know? Which is all the more reason you should leave the bag. That way at least one of us will be able to live on. Forget about it. If you're that hungry, go and ask the chief to let you back in. That thick-headed old bastard will never let me back in. He hates my kind, you know? I think it's just you. There's Brownwind too. He probably organized her kidnapping himself. That's some theory, Roche. He must have considered her a threat to his authority. Yeah! Think about it, man. She brought the forbidden fruit of knowledge to our shitty little village, and everyone from our age downward has benefited from it. You're still an idiot, though. The adults were too proud to take lessons from a little girl, and the result of that was a wedge being driven between the educated young and the uneducated old. And since you're both uneducated and young, you don't belong anywhere, hence your exile. He was probably convinced she was going to try and oust him, so he seized the initiative and got rid of her first. What a tyrant. I hope those aren't rain clouds I can see on the horizon. Hey, are you listening? Huh? What? I don't know why I'm trying to convince you. Roche sighs, reaches into his vest and produces a slim rusty dagger. The ironical smirk falls from his face and assumes a hungry, fox-like manner that attains some level of menace through sheer desperation. This guy is a real dyed-in-the-wool idiot, but if I'm being totally honest, I'm somewhat tempted to cede to his demands. It would be safer and more pragmatic to surrender my pack to Roche and then return to the village to resupply. I haven't gone so very far that this option is out of the question, however humiliating it would be. It really would be the safest move. And this is where I save the video, everybody, or end the video. I'll be seeing you in the next episode of... Yeah, what is this game? Is it Queen Bees? Yeah, Queen Bees. I'll be seeing you in the next episode of Queen Bees or whatever video that I'll be uploading. Hopefully you stay safe. Good luck on whatever you're doing right now, and bye!